episode of Multiplayer.
No, shut up. We're talking about bananas.
No, we're not starting the show off like this. We're doing it, and we're doing it well. Guys, welcome back for another week of Multiplayer. I'm your host, Guillermo Dorado, and with me today are the interrupters, the beautiful, the one and only Zach Matsganis.
Hello.
And Navier Ortiz.
My name is Link today.
Link Ortiz.
Because I just won Game of the Year.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Sorry.
Here's the deal. So it is just at the cusp of the year's end. 2018 is just around the corner. A lot of great games are going to be coming out and everything like that. And we already you guys already hypothesized your Game of the Years, right? But now we actually have the official ballot is in. Awards have been passed out because the Game Awards is just passed, actually, December 7th, right? December 7th? Yeah, December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I think it's time to talk about it because I want to go ahead and go through basically all the games that were awarded, their awards that they had, who they beat out, and kind of like give our little opinions on like how we feel that all went through. But before we do that, guys, I want to say right now, if you have your eyes on us, that means you're watching us on our YouTube channel at Multiplayer. Nope. YouTube.com/multiplayer. But if you're listening to us, then you'll also realize that we are also on podcast services. That is Google Play, iTunes, and coming soon, YouTube.
YouTube.
Not giving up on that. You guys can take us anywhere, anytime on the go on either of those platforms. So I hope you put your eyes and ears on us at all times because we're right here for your pleasure. So, also, we have a Patreon page as well.
Also, there's
I just want to talk about the games.
Me too.
We have a Patreon page as well. If you go and visit that at patreon.com/multiplayer, you can go ahead and give us a little bit of a donation. Just $1 of your fucking amazing kindness will help us make the show bigger and better.
$1 of your kindness.
Yeah. And we'll give you guys 2 extra episodes a month. That is our bonus round, which is exclusive for Patreon members every other Friday, but then comes out a week later to everybody else.
Just
but
for a
we
price
do have
of
favorites.
kindness coffee.
For the price of a kindness coffee, you could help this show get better and put games in these poor gamers' hands.
Please.
Anyways, guys, I think that is the show.
I can't reach them.
We're gonna talk
That's the
about
show?
some
We're
things.
done?
Yeah, we're done. We're done.
Nice, sweet. That was a
No,
good show.
so the Game Awards happened December 7th. It actually happened in the Nova, the theater, the Microsoft Theater here in LA. Didn't even know that. Otherwise, I would have loved to have gone.
Yeah.
Did you guys know it was going to be here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. We had that, and then we had PSX in Anaheim. So
Yeah,
I
everything's
wanted,
happening here.
Yeah,
So.
but hopefully, like next year, I'm hoping 2018 is going to kind of be like Multiplayer's year to really kind of be getting
Oh, it
more.
is.
Kick open some doors and
Yeah,
get
it
in there.
is. That's what we're
know.
we're going to announce that later.
Obviously, it's like, had to lay
2018
some
will be kids' year.
groundwork in for the show, but now we're gonna be going to
2017
to
was
this.
the soil.
That's right.
2018 is
So
the
stay
piranha
tuned
plant.
this time next year for our Multiplayer Game Awards. No. Hell, at the
hosting
Microsoft Theater. No, so December 7th, it actually was the 4th year of the Game Awards. It started back in 2014, but this used to be, this started way back in 2003 as the Spike Video Game Awards. But after 2013, they decided, hey, we're branching this shit off because this has become way too big for your dumb little channel. I think that's what they said. Jeff Keighley
Probably.
said that.
Word for word, yeah, I think so.
Also, it's like, who cares about Spike TV? It's like,
Well, it's also because like the internet, gamers have we live off the internet.
Yeah, at this
You know,
point.
I
It was just
mean-
completely streamed, too. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure it wasn't on any channels. It was just...
No, it was streamed online.
Yeah, a whole internet stream. But essentially this is basically, for lack of a better analogy, this is the Oscar for the video games, pretty much.
Well, that's what it's kind of turning into now.
Right. It's huge at this point.
Yeah, it's I watched this. I've kind of have looked at it in the past years, but I haven't paid too much attention to it because it just seems like another it looked like an award show that wanted to be an award show, but it hadn't found itself yet. But now it's getting to a point like this year really felt like the Oscars or the Emmys or something like that, and it's really turning into like a very respectful looking show outside of the one F-bomb outburst nonsense that was going on.
Right, we'll talk about that here in a little bit,
but overall, I was very impressed with this year with just I think they put so much into it, and it looks like there's just a lot of heart behind it, and it's just like, hey, video games as an art form, we need to have a dedicated award show to it, and this is going to be that show, and
It's not
it
just
feels
for kids
like
anymore.
that.
It's not for
Yeah.
kids.
I think that's actually just a product of the time, really, because the further we go with technology, the more that video games become a much more sophisticated art medium, just in general. Stories get more complex, scores are becoming much more cinematic, just everything and all around is becoming a much bigger experience. So I think that by force they had to kind of give this kind of show, like this medium of entertainment, a show worthy almost of the Oscars.
Yeah. Plus, like all the kids who grew up with games, like in the birth in like the 80s and stuff, you know, they're all
birth of the 80s.
Well, no, like the birth of games, I mean. But like they're all adults now, and they're all devs and publishers for games, and they're like, hey, this is pretty serious. This is $1 billion industry. Why not have awards for something you sell that consumers love and compare and contrast? So
exactly. Now, along with awards being given out at this award ceremony, there's also a plethora of world premiere trailers and announcements that kind of go along with it as well, which are super exciting and completely exclusive, or not exclusive, but like completely its own thing. Like you don't see that shit at the Oscars. You don't see like coming this summer. Fuck that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Oscars don't do that.
Yeah, but it's I think they have a little more fun with their show than the Oscars and
totally
and Emmys and all that. It's like, and I think that's a good thing too. It's like I think they're riding a good line right now where it's like, it's a very respectful show. It's very nice. It's like it's in a nice theater.
Mm-hmm. Everyone's dressed nice. They're all
some people are dressed nice, and some people are just wearing whatever.
Yeah.
It's like oh gosh, I can't remember. Nope, thought's gone. But yeah, it's like some people are just like wearing sweaters and just people. Yeah, some people are just like wearing sweaters and stuff. Some people are wearing like full tuxes.
A lot of them are just like wearing their own like game, merchandise.
The Oscars and the Emmys and stuff, they're all run by like old people. It's just all old people.
True.
So
see, if you just get rid of like this singular old white man mentality and of one award show, then you start having people casually come in. If you have a little bit more Japanese influence, a little bit more of other people. I don't know where I'm going with that. Anyways, so so that's the award ceremony. It happened December 7th, and I think now is the time that we get to talk about our favorite games of the year and how they fared against other games that we were kind of like, who's gonna win? And I mean, I think the best place to start with all these awards is gotta be Game of the Year, obviously.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're saying with that, because so the nominees were Super Mario Odyssey, Horizon Zero Dawn, Persona 5, we had Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then the last one no one gives a shit about. I don't remember what it was.
PUBG?
It was PUBG. Everyone gives a shit about that game.
I thought you were being sarcastic at first, but...
No, I really didn't remember what it was. But, and it was a surprise win because Ratchet & Clank, the movie, won Game of the Year. Like, not even the game,
so weird.
The movie. Yeah, it was fantastic. It was a real big upset. No, of course Legend of Zelda won. We kind of all had our theories about it, but I mean, like, were you guys expecting Zelda to win, like, over Mario Odyssey and over these other games?
I think so. Yeah, I definitely feel like Breath of the Wild is going to be taking home like the majority of the Game of the Year awards.
I mean, it did take home quite a bit. Yeah, it took home Best Direction, Action Adventure, and took home 3.
Yeah, and then I feel like it's going to win things like IGN's Game of the Year and like all those kind of.
It did like the Golden Joystick Awards. It won a bunch of there as well.
Yeah, so. I feel like it's just going to take home most.
It was so nice too because like Legend of Zelda. Well, first of all, it was Nintendo's first Game of the Year award ever, which
really,
yeah. And it's what I mean. Like you heard that the woman announcer as they said, "This is Nintendo's first win for Game of the Year." And I was like,
God, you're right.
I know, yeah, because it's always like these, like these bigger studios that like like Naughty Dog with The Last of Us, things like that. Overwatch won Game of the Year last year, I think, right?
Well, you got to think like the first 3 years of the Game Awards, it was with the Wii U. And
that's true.
Yeah, things like
I'm sure.
Very true.
There's a part of me that's thinking, and I should have done the research on this thing, but I'm sure it's also referencing. I would think so. Too. You don't think so?
No, because that's it's a different award show at that point. That's Spike TV. Blah 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 blah.
Because it makes sense that it would be the first win for Game of the Year. I feel like everyone loves those games, but no one's taking Nintendo's games seriously enough to give it like Game of the Year. Yeah, so it doesn't surprise me, but like it's just really nice. If it's just for the Game Awards out of the 4 years they've been running,
I think that's what
self-entitled thing.
Because they're talking like this is the 4th year in the Game Awards.
Sure. But yeah, so it beat out all those other games. I don't think that Horizon really had much of a chance in that category.
Not against Zelda, man.
I think the only one that really could contend was Super Mario Odyssey, and also Persona 5, just because of how adamant everyone is about playing that game.
Yeah, I've heard. I haven't had a chance.
Nintendo's like, you do not talk about anything but Nintendo games.
Golems live upstairs, man. It's crazy. But yeah, I haven't had a chance to play Persona 5 yet, but I've heard just nothing but just the best thing. Cat, you better shut your face. You hear me? We're talking.
Persona 5's the shit. I can't stop playing it. I don't even have thumbs.
Oh God.
But there was, I've just heard nothing but amazing things about that game.
Yeah, I'm afraid to play because I know it's gonna be a time suck. Like I already lost too many hours from Zelda and Witcher 3. I don't know if I can have any more to give. I'll just waste away.
But I could also see an argument for something like PUBG. It's like
because it was like it's the most streamed game this year.
Yeah,
and like it broke a lot of grounds.
I mean, people love it.
Unknown grounds.
Shut up. Go home.
Yeah, you're right. That's it. I just walk off the fucking camera. No, but it was a huge game this year, and Nick even said that it should have won Game of the Year.
Yeah.
Considering it has like over 1 billion players on it,
Oh, it's like 20 million, or more than 20 million now.
Million? Is it million or billion?
A billion.
I don't think there's 20.
Everyone in the world
on the planet.
You've played it. You have no idea.
It's like everybody in China multiplied 20 times just so they could play this game.
Well, that's what they said on the trailer for the PUBG. They said over 1 billion players. Asterisk.
Hours.
Really, actually 20 million.
It was over
Right.
hours.
That's what I
100
said.
billion.
That's exactly what I said.
Pretty much.
100 billion hours.
No, it was like
eons of play.
1 billion
gameplay.
hours, I think.
Anyways, so it was the first win for Nintendo to get Game of the Year here at this award. And then you have Eiji Aonuma and Hideamero Fujibayashi.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. Nailed it.
They came
think.
up. They were the obviously the game's creative director and I believe lead designer on the whole thing. They came to accept the award, and it was like one of the most just beautiful moments of like the Game Awards because they came so happy and like completely elated that they were like so excited and just joyous, and I don't know, I kind of like there's a little bit of a tear in my eye, and I was like, good for you guys.
Well, it's funny, like watching an award show like this and then watching something like the Emmys is like so vastly different from each other, because it's like you think about like the Emmys, Oscars, stuff like that. Those are people that are like they're always in front of the camera, they're always in the spotlight. It's just everybody knows who these people are. They're used to speaking in front of crowds. And then you get like something like the Game Awards. You get these people that are like, these are the people that are in offices in front of a computer 15 hours a day for 10 years making a game for people to just probably hate. At least on the internet, and then they go home and they just play. But then they're recognized for it, and then they come and they're in front of a huge crowd of people that love what they made, and it's like something. Obviously, it's their baby. It's like some of these games are in development 5, 6, 7 years, and then they're like, oh my God, everybody loves this game, and then you get up on stage and then you have to do some sort of thank you speech, and they can't speak.
Like, they're like, you really love this.
Glad you liked it.
It's like,
everyone, that's how they all leave.
They were all like holding their phones, like trying to speak, like from notes that they had on their phone. They're like, thank you to people. It's just it was great to see.
You also had Aonuma like pull the Master Sword out and do that whole thing, and I was like, this man is living his dream right now.
Totally. Absolutely.
He's living my dream at least. To be applauded for like lifting the Master Sword out of the thing and not be laughed at. But no, one of the most exciting things like during that little acceptance speech was like after they both gave their thank yous and everything, Aonuma came back out to the microphone and was like, after it was translated, he said, I'm going to take all the joy and put back all of that back into continuing to make Zelda games and to continue surprising you, so look forward to that. And I was like, oh, if you can, how are you going to top Breath of the Wild? I'm excited, but like just the fact that I thought this was, and obviously I'm wrong, but I thought this was his last game that he was making. He was going to retire after Breath of the Wild. I don't know where that came from my mind.
I
thought
guess not.
that was obviously not. And I'm glad too, because they did fucking work with Breath of the Wild.
Sometimes developers might say that, where they're just like, you work on a game 5, 6, 7 years.
Like
Kojima, every Metal Gear game is like, this is my last one. And then he makes another one.
Right.
He's done that 7 times already.
Yeah.
It's just so, it's one of those things that I think after you work on just something that long, you're like, I don't know if I want to do another. And then, maybe you take a month off, like, I think I'm ready for another.
Now, I think moving on to, because so we are talking we're putting the Game Awards into this parallel of the Emmys and the Oscars, and I think that if there is one award that kind of like these all uniformly have, it is best narrative, best story or whatever.
Sure.
And I think that this award was really surprising. I was really excited to see who won. We're going to get into it in a minute, but I believe the nominees were Horizon Zero Dawn, Wolfenstein 2, Nier Automata, Hellblade, and then What Remains of Edith Finch. Now, of course, before we get into who won, who did you guys expect?
I was hoping for Wolfenstein just because I want that game to get
above Hellblade.
Above Hellblade.
Wow.
Because I shouldn't say above Hell. Like, I wanted it to kind of be one of those two. Because those are just two games I want more recognition for. Like, more people need to see Hellblade. More people need to play Wolfenstein 2. And it's like, I think Wolfenstein 2 is one of those games where it's just like, if that won like best narrative, then people would be like, wow, the story's that good? And then they would, because it's like a lot of what you see in the trailers is just Nazis dying.
It was good that they got nominated. I mean, that right there for like an FPS to like get best, nominated for best narrative, already to me kind of does what you're hoping it would have done if it had won. Obviously it would have been more of a response, but like just for that alone, like I believed you when you said the story was good, but enough to get a nomination, like that is kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit.
Yeah, and so I'm glad that was on there. I'm glad Hellblade was on there. So I was like really hoping for one of those games. I haven't played What Remains of Edith Finch, but I mean, you were raving about it. I need to go back and play it, but
so good.
I'm glad that won though, because that's another.
We didn't say it yet.
That's another.
Spoilers.
That's okay.
Whoops.
Yeah, What Remains of Edith Finch did win, which was like what I was extremely excited about. I didn't realize it got a nomination because I was like more worried about Game of the Year and best score and stuff for the awards, but. I mean, like, I was really proud because that game, not only is it a really small independent developer, of course, Annapurna is kind of like trying to be a bigger force to reckon with in the video game, at least in the indie scene for video games. But for it to beat out Horizon, Wolfenstein 2, Nier, and Hellblade, it makes sense to beat out Hellblade because it's also another contending, indie game. But, like, for it to beat like these huge AAA games is a lot. I'm like really excited now that they have that like in their back pocket, like what they're gonna come up with next, because that game was fucking amazing. Like stories, it was like poetry, man. It's so beautiful. But were you expecting What Remains to win?
Well,
obviously because you hadn't played it. So like,
no,
I
didn't play it. I was expecting, just for me, I was expecting between Horizon and Hellblade. I thought about Wolfenstein 2, but I hadn't played it. But I figured. Played through the first one, I was like, Jesus, they continue the story, then...
And it just gets better.
Yeah,
man.
like, the first Wolfenstein is an amazing story. A continuation of that is hands down just amazing. So, but I played through Horizon. Obviously, I played through Hellblade, because we keep talking about it.
No, I'm surprised that you were thinking... Oh, no, you didn't say Horizon.
No, I said Horizon, between Horizon and Hellblade.
I'm surprised you say that, because that story doesn't feel like much of a story.
I thought between the story and just that world... I thought was really interesting because you take this concept of caveman style like living or that old mentality,
sure,
and then you tie it with giant robot animals. So it's like a combination of the past and future meeting with like robot dinosaurs and robot like tigers and shit. And you're just like, this is absolutely ridiculous. It shouldn't work, but it does.
I mean,
the world makes sense, and it's like the story of Aloy is pretty cool and it's badass, and it's just. Another, like, and 2017 seems to be pretty good at this, it was a really good narrative involving a female lead. So that and Hellblade, I was like, wow, both of these, I think one of them should have won. But, I mean, I didn't play the Edith Finch, but you did. And I'm sure it's great. Yeah. I'm not disappointed at all.
I guess I'll rescind what I just said about Hellblade because, I mean, it was good enough story-wise for me to play the Horizon thing. Or, what'd I say?
You said Hellblade.
Or, yeah, no. Hellblade's amazing. No, I'll rescind what I said about Horizon because I mean it was good enough to the point, like, and interesting enough that it kept me playing. Like I definitely did put a lot of hours in that game and beat it and enjoyed my time doing it. But like what just rubbed me the wrong way was that the story on paper was good, but the way that it was expressed is through these like emotionless wooden blocks of people or of characters, So like that to me like kind of deterred the storytelling element because I couldn't really invest in anybody because like I was like these are all just mannequins. Yeah. So like, but on paper, like the story is really because like I'm starting to remember now, like because I really actually forgot about it, but like kind of seeing like how they explain where those creatures came from and where they explain how humanity is where it is now. It is actually really interesting, and I did like it. But I'm just surprised that it got as many nominations as it did, just because of like how fucking blocky everyone is. They're like, I have feelings. I'm like,
I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, it is good. So it is really good. Did you play it?
I just haven't had a chance.
Yeah, I feel you. But I mean, yeah. So like I said before, I mean, if there's not any more of a reason to play What Remains of Edith Finch, you should absolutely do it. And like, you know, it won Best Narrative and then also Best Beard of the like Game Awards. Beard? That guy? Yeah, the guy that came up with the girl.
Oh yeah, dude, that guy looks so baller, man. He's just like sweet beard. He got the hat.
Like, I was like, this guy.
I hope he just dresses.
This guy bucks.
No, but I was just like, oh shit, like that. If I could imagine any like kind of developers to make a game like what Edith Finch is, I'd be like, yep, that's exactly what they look like.
I hope that guy just dresses like that every day. That's just typical.
Yeah, he should. He just woke up that way.
Yeah. Hats somehow on his head. Just
it's really a growth. It's kind of weird. Don't make fun of it. He's really sensitive. So moving on though. So yeah, I was really happy that like these independent games are really starting to get like a huge. I don't know. I think 2018 is going to be a huge year in a lot of different ways for the gaming industry, because I think that people are going to start recognizing indie games more than ever. Because I mean, in this past year alone, like I think that they have just had like a breakthrough with what they can do and what stores are willing to tell.
The last couple of years have just been great for indie games, and it's just it really is just getting better and better. Yeah. Like I think, you know, something like Hellblade is such a prime example of like where an indie game could go if they just want to push it to the limits, you know? And
that's actually the only song they listen to the entire time of developing.
Yeah, it's a montage of them making the game.
Yeah.
So
stop! Screaming and bleeding and everything.
Someone in front of a keyboard and mouse. Just designing.
You're watching Hella come out of like smoke and destroying people. So okay, moving on to next awards, we have Best Performance.
Oof.
Which
come on
was like two of the awards were going to Uncharted for Lost Legacy of this. It was Laura Bailey for Nadine Ross, and then name I don't remember for Chloe. Yeah,
I forget her name as well.
Right, we had BJ Blazkowicz, that character as well, and you had Senua from Hellblade, and again a fifth one that no one remembers and no one cares about. Who was it?
What was it?
Wait,
I'm trying to remember.
Oh God.
See? That's why they didn't win, because no one can name it.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Mario.
I think it was Mario. And his frog performance was amazing.
I think it was Link. It was definitely Link.
I'm surprised, actually, that, like Zelda, I'm not surprised. No. Anyways, who won Best Performance was kind of an interesting upset, was not really that interesting or surprising to us, but surprising in a lot of different ways, was Melina Juergens. Melina Juergens, that's what I said, from Hellblade. She won. I mean, like, even you were like...
Yeah, man, I was like...
She won the shit out of that award.
I was so happy she won, because she's not even an actress, but, I mean, her performance was just beyond good. Yeah. And it's just like... Man, she just deserves all the praise in the world. Sure. It was like, and she was like adorable up on that stage. Just like she's so shaking, she was so nervous to be up there.
and it's like I've said this on many different shows, but that when you beat that game, that mini documentary, and you see her like behind the scenes and she's acting out the scenes, you know, during the mocap, and we live in an age where acting nowadays, there's so much, you know, CGI and stuff, you know, for films and obviously video games. You've got these actors covered from head to toe, this ridiculous outfits with these weird things on their faces.
Yeah, a bunch of golf balls,
they look absolutely ridiculous. And the performance that she gives is like, it's incredible. Like, you watch her behind the scenes as they're filming her, and it's like, you can see it in her eyes, like she's so good at being that character. And it's credit to the director for bringing that out of an editor. Like, she was an editor for them, and she was a stand-in, and he was like, you know what, fuck it, let's just give it to you, because we can't find an actress, so you're going to be doing it. And
I think that's the most intriguing, because like I also was watching this video diaries too, like after I beat the game, and when they heard that bit of information, I was like, what?
Yeah, it's insane.
I didn't recognize the motion cap artist, like I'd never heard her voice or seen her or anything, and it was like, and I think that's like one of the biggest strengths too. I think it was like obviously kind of destined to win, just because of like the story of like where they got the actress in general. You know, she wasn't one, she was an unknown talent, unknown face, which helps you like get into the story that much better, because you don't recognize anything, you know, you don't have like these you know, you're not putting on these expectations from like, oh, I know this person from this game, they're always good, but it's just fucking blank slate the entire game, right down to the performances, and I was like, amazing. But I mean, Hellblade didn't only go home with best performance; it also went home with audio design, which obvious reasons.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Yeah.
And games for impact, or a game for an impact.
Absolutely.
Yes, which is great.
But you know what else? Who else was on that list for Game of Impact?
Bury Me in My Love.
I know. I
noticed
like,
that.
what? Yeah, it was an SMS game that we talked about a couple episodes back about where you play as this husband who is trying to help and instruct his wife to get from Syria to Europe. And I was like, holy shit, that game! It was a fucking mobile texting based game, and that was nominated too. So like, good for them. But also good for Hellblade was taking that home. Though.
It shows you right there. It's like a video game could almost be anything and be nominated. It could be a text game. It could be something like Hellblade, or it could be something like Uncharted.
The movie. It could be a movie.
Yeah,
it can. The Mario movie. That's gonna get nominated, I bet.
Oh yeah,
when it comes
all
out.
Game Awards. Yeah. Best gameplay Mario movie. And Edith Finch was actually on that Games for Impact as well. But I mean, also kind of to give Hellblade more of like its dues is it beat out Legend of Zelda for audio design, and it beat out a bunch of other games, Mario Odyssey as well.
You know what? Like those games are, the audio design in all these games are great, but Hellblade, like, it's another level.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. Like,
but it just says so much for that to beat out those huge the game of the year. It beat out the game of the year in audio design, and I think why it's so instrumental to like kind of say that out loud is because whatever they're going to make next is going to be fucking mind-blowing, because now they're going to actually have backing. People are going to be like, okay, you mean business. You beat out Zelda. Like, that's, I don't know. These indie games are going to have, it's going to be a fucking, the next 2-3 years down, mark my words, we're going to see some shit's going to blow our goddamn minds.
And it's also, it shows a bright future. Like, 2017 is a lot of, like, hack in the video game industry about, it's all going to multiplayer, online multiplayer experiences.
Exactly,
But all of this shows that single-player experiences are still, like, top dog. Like, you can't... When you put a game like Hellblade and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey and Wolfenstein 2 and Horizon Zero Dawn and Persona 5, What Remains of Edith Finch, all these games... Yeah, Nier Automata. Like, all of that. Like, I love Overwatch, and I know people love PUBG, but that will never, at least for me, that'll never take the place of a game like Breath of the Wild or a game like Hellblade.
Yeah.
These single-player experiences are just so... Because you can just tell how much care and, like, effort goes into these games. The writing, the acting, like, everything about them. Just gorgeous. And, like, you can't, like... Again, I love Overwatch. People love PUBG, but...
And they got their awards, too.
They did.
Overwatch got Best Ongoing Game,
Best Ongoing Game, which is awesome.
And then PUBG got Best Multiplayer Game, which is also a given as well.
and those are... And that's amazing, and, like, those games are amazing. But, like, you just, like, you can't beat these, like, single-player experiences.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I play Overwatch most days of the week for, at least an hour. And I still, like, I haven't played Zelda in a minute now. Now all the DLC's out, I'm so looking forward to like playing through it. But it's like Zelda and Wolfenstein 2 and a few other games I played this year. Like, I think about those games. Like, I don't even have to. Like, it's been months and months, but I'll think about these games. It's like I was. There was one night I was just laying in bed and I couldn't sleep because I was just thinking about Wolfenstein 2. Like, I could not sleep for hours because I was just, and I literally like I sat up and I just started doing research on my phone.
Weeping.
I just started crying. No, I just started doing like research. I was like, I want to know more about like the lore of this universe, and so I started just diving really deep into it. Cause I just had so many questions I wanted answered. And it's like I wasn't even playing a video game. It's like that's how good some of these single-player
I think that's
games
why
are.
We are gamers inherently, is because, I mean, I'm speaking for myself, but I feel like we can all agree on this, is like the most memorable moments I've had in video games is one where I've like felt everything from a story that I've been like for it, one of the biggest impacts for me. There's two games I can just like name off the top of my head. There's like Halo and all that good stuff. They were great in their campaign, but I don't want you guys to yell at me. So, but Oddworld: Stranger's Wrath, the twist of that game. I feel like if I went back and played it now, it would seem obvious. But when I was 12, it blew my mind. And then also BioShock. Like those were two huge moments. Like in that I can like tell you what I was wearing. Like down to that line, because like you're right. Single player games are still king. I think to a lot of people and. It's because there's no other way to experience a story the way that a video game tells a story.
It's great. It's great to have those junk food games. It's just like it's fun to like go to the movie theaters and watch the Hulk punch people in the face. But it's like you really like you'll watch a movie for like because you're really looking for a certain
sucked into that world. That story.
Yeah, it's like a TV show or a movie or whatever. And I think video games are the same way, where it's like it's fun to run around and shoot monsters or whatever. It's good to have those junk food games. But then it's like those moments in certain games that they make you just poop your pants from laughing or crying or whatever. I mean, it's just like there's just so many like I haven't touched Red Dead in probably 7-8 years, but the ending of that game, it broke me. it literally like
been the same.
Like seriously, man, like at the end of that game, I was just like I had to put down my controller.
Think about life.
And I had to just think about life.
Yeah,
and I still think about it. Like it's just.
I can't sleep anymore because I'm always thinking about Red Dead and Wolfenstein 2. That's it. Yeah. So I think we're going to breeze by these last couple of awards. I think just kind of like we should mention them because they did win. Best action game went to Wolfenstein 2. Best strategy game, kind of surprising. Mario. Huh? Yeah, Wolfenstein 2.
Wolfenstein
really
2.
surprising.
The strategy is dual gun machine guns.
Killed Nazis. It's the best strategy ever. No, Mario plus Rabbids won. It beat out XCOM 2, which was like the game that it was like inspired by, so I thought that was really interesting. Good win for Nintendo. Interesting win for Ubisoft. Let's hope they don't fuck it up later on the line. Best family game.
Wolfenstein 2.
Doesn't get much more family friendly than that. Killing Nazis.
They killed it at this award ceremony.
Best family game.
Mario Odyssey. Kind of no surprise there.
Makes sense.
It's kind of funny that all the games in this category were Nintendo. They were like Splatoon 2, like Mario Kart, all of them.
It's true.
I mean, what else do you have? You got Wolfenstein 2. You got like,
Wolfenstein 2.
There's the KKK in that game. That's like the best part. Family friendly right then and there. You have Best Art Direction and Best Indie Game went to Cuphead.
Yeah, duh.
Makes sense.
But it also beat out, like in Art Direction, it beat out Zelda, Horizon Zero Dawn, Destiny 2, fucking Hellblade. That's incredible.
It.
So I think good for them.
It is definitely the most different art direction compared to all those other games.
Oh, for sure.
Every frame is hand drawn.
Every frame was a painting.
Literally.
Yeah. Best multiplayer, we always says PUBG, ongoing game Overwatch, and most anticipated game beating out Red Dead 2, Last of Us 2. Kind of makes sense. Can't wait for
Wolfenstein 2.
It's still waiting for
It's weird that that's an award. Most anticipated game.
Yeah, that's a weird
Does anybody
one.
else think that's weird? I thought it was kind of weird.
I thought it was weird when Ratchet & Clank the movie won Game of the Year, but I'm not giving up on that.
You're really not.
Along with Wolfenstein 2.
High five. All right. So now we've got to move on to announcements. But I think this year specifically, there's a lot of really fucking awesome things that they announced. A lot of surprises and some weird situations also happened. I want to start this list with Witchfire, which is a FPS shooter made by the Astronauts, which is the same makers of Soma and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. But they're also in they're also a partnership with people who made Painkiller and Bulletstorm.
Yeah, I can't remember. Did you look up if that's a new studio?
The Astronauts?
Yeah.
Yes, it is a new studio.
Yeah.
I mean, like their first game was Soma. Like that was.
Oh, so they have made a game.
Yeah, they made Soma. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't know what you meant by.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
They made Soma and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Those are 2 games under the belt. And
gotcha.
Now it's going to be.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if they made that under a different company name and then came in with like these Bulletstorm guys and then made a new studio.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, but it was just it's funny too because like. The trailer starts off with this like beautiful lush environment, like like these graveyards and kind of like something supernatural's kind of happening.
Yeah, I love how it started because it's like, it's from the makers of these walking simulators.
Yeah,
it's like, okay,
we talked about Vanishing of Ethan Carter just last week.
Yeah.
And it's just like you're like, oh, great environment. This is gorgeous, really showing off the graphical, situation. Then shit starts to get kind of dark. You see the character lift up a shotgun.
I was like, what?
And
then
there's
it's
a
Wolfenstein too.
Yeah, and also the makers of Bulletstorm and Painkillers. And I was like, holy fuck.
Yeah, I was like, wasn't expecting that, but here we go.
Yeah, it looks super dope. There's not really much in terms of story or what it's gonna be. But I have a lot of faith in the Astronauts and what they can do with the game. I haven't played Vanishing of Ethan Carter, but I've heard a lot about it and Soma. And I mean, it just looks fucking badass and gorgeous.
It's cool that you're like zipping around.
Yeah, it's like it's a mix of both. Looks like obviously gunplay, and then spells because you're teleporting. You're doing an anti-grav lift and against enemies.
It felt a lot like something like BioShock Infinite. Where it's just like, with the environment and then like, these very old, kind of early 1900s guns mixed with like, some spells and stuff.
It looks super cool. And like everything about that trailer, like the tone, the music, I was like, I cannot wait to play this. Especially if it's coming from the makers of, I don't know, the Vanishing of Ethan Carter. It was such like a fucking 180. I was like, I'm excited. Going past that, fucking Nintendo went ahead and announced that Bayonetta 1 and 2 is coming out for the Switch in 2018. Physical copy for Bayonetta 1, Bayonetta 2 included on... Oh, no, Bayonetta 2, digital copy of 1 included in the disc.
Yeah, which I'm glad that's getting a second chance, because, it's something that Nintendo published, and I'm sure it sold okay, but it's the Wii U, so...
It was a critically acclaimed game. Like, a lot of people talked that game to death.
Yeah, people that have played that game, like, love that game. And it's just...
so popular enough that she got a character in Smash.
Yeah, It's a cool character. It's a weird, funky, super Japanese world that's just super rad.
It's like Devil May Cry.
Hack and slash for sure. But it has like, because you guys were telling me about the game itself when I was playing her on Smash, I was like, what's going on? She's like, oh yeah, her suit's made out of hair. I was like, what?
Yeah. She's a witch.
Yeah, but that just, like those two sentences, those don't like make the other make sense.
So.
Like,
she's gonna be on Witchfire.
Oh, got it. Yeah,
she's the boss.
She's like 7 feet tall.
Yeah,
and she also has guns on her feet.
Yeah,
because she's just dope like that.
Yeah, she's pretty badass.
Made by Nintendo. What?
Well, it wasn't originally made by Nintendo.
Published by Nintendo.
Yeah, they bought the rights to it.
Yeah, it's made by Platinum Games, which just makes crazy games.
Sega's part of that as well. They're affiliated with Bayonetta.
What?
Sega too?
No.
Sega.
Sega.
They might have published the first one.
I thought they did. Maybe not. I don't know. But moving on, because then Reggie Fils-Aimé was, introduced by Jeff Keighley, saying like, "Oh, these games are coming out, but there's one more thing," which is like, which is like Nintendo's super known for like that one more kind of thing. And they fucking showed a trailer for Bayonetta 3. It was a teaser, but it was fucking wicked. It was wicked awesome, dude. Fucking wicked.
Bro, it was like a chick. She had guns.
It was crazy. You should cover her hair.
Yeah. She's dressed as hair. She's also a witch. Makes sense. No, but like she shot these. The way that I don't know. It's very stylized, very anime-esque. The way that like the whole action sequence.
It's Bayonetta.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Go play those games.
Apparently, I need to.
They're
but like, I'm
insane.
not a huge fan of hack and slash. But like the trailer alone, I was like, I don't know, maybe this game might be different. Maybe this is what's going to bring me back to hack and slash. The last hack and slash I played was fucking Dante's Inferno, and I'm like,
so
you don't like Dante's Inferno?
I did.
It's a guilty pleasure for me.
Have you ever revisited it?
Yeah.
Oh, it doesn't.
So everybody that has played Bayonetta will pretty much tell you the same thing. This is the absolute best like hack and slash game.
God of War 2.
Dante's Inferno.
God of War 2.
It's just.
God of War
it's
2.
like even if you're not into those games, you'll love this game just because of like, it's hack and slashy, but like it has great mechanics behind it.
Yeah.
So it's just
like her abilities are really cool, like the fucking guns and the weapons she has. It's a really cool game. Yeah. It's really cool.
I think
best hack and slash probably not, but it's good. It's good.
All right.
It's good.
It's got Hobbs' approval. It's good.
It's good.
It's stamped right there. Yeah.
It's no God of War 2, but it's good.
Stamped
well, it's just like it's just like a limp hand stamp.
It's good. Play it. Here you go. You can borrow it. Keep it. It's fine. No, so Bayonetta 3 trailer looks super fucking dope. It looked like she got decimated in the trailer because you just see her legs as the camera sweeps under towards the bad guy, but then her legs fall apart like this.
Yeah,
I'm like,
weird.
Jesus, I think
she's a witch. So.
Yeah, she can just do.
That doesn't explain anything.
Well, her legs are just like they're
hair.
like
it's just hair.
Yeah, her legs just they just do their own thing. She could probably take her leg and just wrap it around her whole body. Like
she's a witch, so it makes sense.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah, very flexible lady. She's like all legs and hair.
A witch?
No. Okay then. Don't generalize.
They all got
put them in this box. They
got guns on their feet. They got crazy hair.
7 feet tall.
A witch. Anyways, so moving on. The next announcement that was really big was PUBG's getting a new map. They've had like that one map called
PUBG.
It was I didn't write the name down, but it was an Eastern European-esque map that like,
it's just a map.
This
is like
map
here's
number 1.
Generic island place.
Number 1. Well, I mean like, and that's everyone's been playing the hell out of that game, and no one's.
I'm not saying it's not bad.
No, right, but no one's been like wanting new maps because like usually that's a big thing for. Right, but like for let me finish the statement.
No.
So like multiplayer games, everyone like wants variety, and characters and maps and everything like that. But this is one game that like there's so much variety in the gameplay itself and how things happen that like it's of course everyone's wanted the map, but it's not been like a hindrance to people playing it. Like it's not like Battlefield 1 or Battlefront 1 when it came out and it was like there's only 3 fucking maps,
Yeah.
This has one map and it's like we're fine until you give us the new thing. Yeah. And they're like, well, fucking here you go because we're giving you Miramar desert terrain map, which looks very like wild westerny kind of thing. It has like a really off-road, like rugged off-road terrain, which like makes it difficult for vehicles to get through and actually slows the players down, which was one of the things that was kind of like talked about in this interview I was looking with. Like they wanted to slow down and make the game a little bit more strategy-based. So they decided to put that in there. Obviously, like if you want to like go around somebody and flank people, it's going to be a little bit more difficult as opposed to just driving on the roads that are paved and shit, where you can just get sniped out of the air. But I don't know. It looks fantastic. I think the live-action trailer that accompanied the game, the new map announcement, looked super dope as well. I don't know if you guys checked that out. No? It's really good.
I mean, I don't play PUBG, so like when that came on, it's like I respect it, but meh.
Right. But, people are excited.
As they should.
Wish I had a lap or a computer that could play it, and I
It's
also...
coming to Xbox.
But...
Well, you don't have one.
like, there's not really much to say there.
That's true. That's true.
It's not going to justify a purchase of one game because there's not a single.
Well, you can get Cuphead.
Yeah, but we just have Mick for that. We'll just go ahead and have another 6 a.m. night playing the game. Anyway, so. But yeah, so it looks really fucking cool. You'll be invited next time.
Okay.
Maybe. It looks really cool. A lot of people are super excited about it, and I think it gives a much more vibrant look to the game itself as opposed to just generic Island number 1, which was the first map.
Now it's generic desert place.
Number 2. And there's sand. Next announcement, it was like the definition of a teaser. It was literally like about 15 seconds long. It was From Software's new game.
Oh, yeah.
Which just showed... Which these are the guys that made the Dark series and Bloodborne.
Could be Bloodborne 2.
It could be Bloodborne 2. That's what everyone's like thinking because like it's all you see is just this like bloody twine wrapped around this
like a leg
mechanism. Who knows?
Could be Wolfenstein 2.
Could be Wolfenstein 2.
Could be Wolfenstein
They've
3.
been making that game for like
it's gonna be
75 years. Since the end of World War II, they've been making that game. Yeah, so it had just like this really kind of like almost Clive Barker look, like because everything was covered in blood and shit.
Yeah.
And then this like just title card that comes up and says Shadows Die Twice. Shadows Die Twice. And everyone was like, fucking Bloodborne 2! Yeah. And then someone in the back was like, fuck Halo! We're like, wrong game, dude. I'm not even talking about that.
It still means something, though.
It still means something.
Now, if it's Bloodborne 2, whew.
I know you're a huge fan of that game.
Bloodborne's so good.
I've not played it, but I've been like watching a lot of videos on it and like a lot of like analytical
that
kind of
world,
things.
like that, the world of Bloodborne is so interesting because it's such a cool mixture of like Victorian like style England, but with like
Hell demons.
H.P. Lovecraft. I was gonna say L. Ron Hubbard.
Aliens.
No, it's so cool. You got Lovecraftian monsters and like that theme, but then Victoria style. It's so cool, man.
Yeah.
It's such a cool world. Combat's really awesome. The weapons.
See, I didn't know that it was based off of Lovecraftian Thor until lore. Lovecraftian Thor would be fucking dope. That's a new fucking comic.
I'd watch that movie.
Yeah. I'd play that game. I like that duck. So until you told me that, I was like, oh shit, I might want to play this. But everyone's super excited. That teaser was it. It was just 15 seconds.
Yeah.
And everyone was like freaking out.
I think if they would have put like a tentacle in there, it would probably been like too much. The like way to give it away, but like
right.
Yeah, like blood is synonymous with Bloodborne. Yeah. It's like there's so much blood in that game. It's weird, but it's
what in Bloodborne?
Yeah, it's crazy. You wouldn't expect it.
That's one world I think that would win most, like a world I would never ever in a million years want to experience in my life.
Same.
Everyone's like, I would love to live in the universe of Star Wars. I would fucking never be in the universe of Bloodborne. That looks terrifying.
You don't want to just be like walking around hanging out and then there's like crazy horse monsters
with arms, fingers, and your dead one's faces.
There were moments
I think I'm just gonna go kill myself over here.
Like times when I played it, I legitimately got scared.
Yeah.
Like some of those monsters are really freaky.
Also, that game is super hard too, so you have no choice but to like.
It is really hard,
thing.
but like it's also like it's such a weird mixture because like I am not a fan of like the Victorian style England. Like, I don't like that look. Sorry, Nathan. No offense.
He's not from Victorian style England.
I'm
He's from modern day
You looked
England.
up at me when I said that, so But like that art
I
style.
don't like Victorian style England. I don't like girls named Victoria.
No,
like,
no,
I
no.
just don't really
Just
like
that
it.
art style to me. I don't like it. I don't like it. Doesn't do anything for me. But like when you mix it with like Lovecraft, then suddenly it somehow works, and it's just it's really good.
Well, I mean, it's not far removed from that era, you know. Lovecraft was in America around the, you know, like in early Boston, Massachusetts, but like
No, I know. It's just that
it does go super well though, hand in hand. I want to play. I'm actually gonna borrow it from you here soon, and you're gonna let me, please.
Yeah, we'll see.
All right, great. Good enough for me. Next thing I want to kind of talk about. A Way Out got a gameplay trailer. This was another game that was announced back at E3 that we kind of saw a trailer for. It looks like the story of two brothers who are...
Shawshank.
Yeah.
They're not
prison.
brothers.
They're not brothers?
No.
Oh, they just escaped from prison and now they're like, now we're brothers. But like, I meant metaphorically.
Shawshank.
Sure.
I meant through camaraderie they became brothers. One
These guys don't even really like each other.
Yeah, one guy's an asshole, one guy's like the strategic, I'm going to talk things out. And like, that's about the game.
Shawshank.
It just looks real dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know. Here's the deal. It just looks like an Army of Two style gameplay where you have the two things, but it comes from the same director, the creative director of Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, which was a really
I love that.
It was a really great independent game. So kind of I see he's going through the same theme of like, you know, brotherly kind of camaraderie. But the game just it looks like something I've seen before. It doesn't look like anything that's like enlightened by much. I don't know. It just
I feel like it's going to have a good story, and I think the characters are going to be really interesting and fleshed out.
It feels like a gimmick to me more than it does like there's not much of a story that we've seen
Not
that
yet.
like
Yeah, but it's like they've only shown little bits and pieces, you know, and I like that. You know, I hate it when people just give everything away in a trailer.
Sure.
But if it's anything like, you know, Brothers, then I'm so down because it's like that was such a good game. The end of that game was super sad and made me feel things.
a lot of things.
Right in his nipple.
Yeah, and I've not slept since. Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like a pervading theme.
So yeah, I mean, it's like, dude, if it's anything like that, I'm so down. And I think it's an interesting concept as far as how the co-op works in that game. It's like it's always co-op. With this like split screen like actions going on is
it split screen or is that just the way that they were showing it?
No, it's always split screen and it's always co-op. Like you can't play it by yourself. You have to play it with somebody. And it's
friends.
And it's a couch co-op
like
kind of thing. I think you can play it online, but you know, they've already said it's like it's for two people sitting next to each other playing.
I'm super down for that.
And
That's
it's like the people like you could be in one building doing something and somebody's somewhere else doing something else, trying to do things, you know, for the...
But here's the thing, the only reason that we're talking about this game, or the majority of people are talking about this game, is because the director, Joseph Fares,
You love him.
Dude, that guy is such a jackass. Like, so...
Dude, that guy's hilarious.
He just had an outburst. He came out, you know, Jeff Keighley introduced him to introduce the gameplay trailer of The Way Out, and he was like, yeah, fuck all that. I'm a passionate guy, and fuck the Oscars. And it was like, and he never finished his statement. He had like a random rant that went nowhere. And Jeff Keighley was like just waiting for him to shut the fuck up. It's like, do you want to show the game?
The whole time is just like,
yeah,
it's so good, man.
Are you
that
done?
guy's just like, I don't know why, but every time that guy like at E3, he had me cracking up at this. Like as soon as I saw him on screen, I was like, dude, this guy's about to say something hilarious. I'm gonna just.
God, he just pissed me off. I was just like watching this dude. I was like, shut the fuck. No one cares. Like it's I don't know. He's seen. Nathan is over here theorizing that he seemed like he was like bent out of shape because he's like a director of 6 feature-length films and he's like saying fuck the Oscars maybe because it's like derived from his hatred for like maybe his films never really went anywhere. I don't know. That's why he's in the game industry.
Possible.
But like I don't know. Just like it seemed like a big publicity stunt to where he even started to defend EA in a way that was like no.
Well, it's like he's trying to like advertise his game and he's trying to like
published by EA.
Yeah, and it's just and he was trying to say all the right things, but he said them all completely wrong. He was basically
all
just
the fucking synapses in his brain were firing. And he started vomiting words into the camera.
He's just like, oh yeah, I love EA. You know, they effed up, but you know, it's
like, yeah, I already said fuck. You can say it. It's fine.
Oh yeah,
can we curse on here?
yeah, exactly. Just like, yeah, sure. And he's like, oh. You can almost tell like he wanted to retract that.
Can we catch a commercial? Shit, we're on the internet.
Damn it. Like, you can cuss it only if
flicking
it's...
off the camera and all stuff. It's just like
Everyone's like, yeah, this guy's crazy.
only guy to cuss in the whole thing. He drops like 12 f-bombs.
And you know, it stands to reason. Like, okay, so maybe you enjoyed the stunt. I thought it was really stupid, but it kind of says something that we're all talking about the goddamn game now because of this. Like, we're all talking about a way out, and it worked. Like, whether it was a
even
stunt
without
or whether
that
that's
guy,
really who he is. Like, we're all talking about that shit.
I mean, I thought even just the E3 showing was great. Like, I'm super interested. I'm down to try it.
Yeah, I like the E3 showing. I thought it was pretty good.
Then I felt like
that was an interesting looking game.
I don't know. We'll see. I'll play it if you guys have it.
Shawshank's a good movie.
I'll play it with you guys, but
it's a two-person game.
yeah, but it's not Shawshank. It's not written by Stephen King.
It might as well be Shawshank.
Is it?
It's Shawshank.
Okay. It looks like Shawshank. It's Shawshank the video game.
With less sodomy. Anyways, get the fuck out. Got a trailer. GTFO.
I thought you were telling me to.
No, get the fuck out. No, GTFO is actually the name of a game. Kind of interesting. They just went straight blunt for that title. It is made by 10 Chambers Collective, the makers of Payday 1 and 2, which is a banker heist multiplayer game, co-op. This is in the same realm as that, except, still 4-player co-op, but now it's like a more sci-fi horror shooter-based kind of thing, where you're running through these, like, whether it's a space station or this facility deep in an alien planet, we don't really know, but the atmosphere was very much like that of, like, Alien 1. Yeah. Like, it looked really,
Reminded me of Dead Space.
Yeah, but
hordes.
Sure. Yeah. It was. I don't know. It looked really good. I think that the atmosphere of the game looks great. I don't know if it says a lot that it's made by the makers of Payday 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, my impressions, for several reasons, just like, because it's like, I wasn't a big fan of the Payday series. Same. I tried them. I really, really wanted to like them because I wanted to do I think just an amazing bank heist game would be incredible, and I just don't think those games delivered on a great bank heist experience. Yeah, they weren't very realistic as far as like what a bank heist would be like. But this game just looks, at least in the trailer they showed, it's just like it looks like 100 other FPS games.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
The first thing I thought of was Nazi zombies. When I saw like you're playing with a bunch of buddies and you got these waves.
I thought Left 4 Dead. That's what I thought of Left 4 Dead. Is like that kind of what reminded me of that 4-player co-op with hordes. Huh?
Is there a difference
between
Nazi zombies and Left 4 Dead?
Well, the way it's played, I think that Left 4 Dead or Nazi zombies.
Different. Yeah, I know. Yeah. It's being sarcastic.
I know.
Nathan's over there making faces like, yeah, there's a big difference.
It's not Victorian England, fucker. But no, I don't know. It looks really interesting. I definitely want to try it out, but it does. It's made by the makers of Payday 1 and 2, so it doesn't really have highest marks in my eyes. But I think from the trailer itself, it seemed like a much more cinematic experience. Like the writing of like the narrator that they were, the narration that was going over the trailer looked really intricate. The dialogue even between the player characters themselves, like going back and forth, seemed really thought out and executed well. So I'm looking.
Sounded fine.
Yeah, I don't know how many times if it'll hold up after playing it like 40 times in a row. Like the first experience I think will be really great, but those multiplayer or co-op 4-player games, they kind of run its course pretty quickly. So we'll see what happens. Interesting name, interesting trailer, interesting opinions. Papa John's. So the next one is Death Stranding got a trailer.
Oh my god.
Which we're running out of time, so I don't know why I brought this up last because this is the most thing I want to talk about, that and Zelda. But Death Stranding got a 9-minute trailer that I think can be summed up in 3 words, which is just, what the fuck? I don't know what the hell is going on.
Kojima should just make short films.
Yeah, I mean,
it would be awesome.
Yeah,
it'd be so dope.
It's really what these are already.
It
is, it's like a game could never come out and it would still be great. It's just like you just keep coming out with those, and it's like that's fine. Yeah. I'm having fun watching these. Yeah. It's a good
time. I feel like I really played
Norman Reedus got a baby inside of him, and you got these
monster
things.
That's the best part about it too, right? It's like this trailer left us with more questions for the answers that we've still never received from other questions of the other games.
Yeah, we
just got more questions.
But I love
You'll play
that.
the game and still not know what's happening. It's like watching Lost.
I doubt that. Lost is
it's like watching Lost.
Yeah. I mean, I really do think, because he is a great storyteller in and of himself, and he does demand your attention. Like with Metal Gear 4, if you nod off for 5 minutes, then all of a sudden you have to play the whole game to watch a goddamn 50-minute thing.
It's okay. love MGS4.
But yeah, but he definitely has, a way of telling a story, a very unique story that's like way the fuck out there with a bunch of random characters with random powers that you never question because they just feel rooted in some kind of realism, at least for the world's sake. And you're like, yeah, that makes sense. Guy who can read my memory card, sure, absolutely. But but this game, it's filled with fetuses, with these weird shadowy creatures that you can't see them, but they leave handprints, and they apparently are staved off from seeing you if you don't breathe. And there's a little light flashing over here, and Kojima walks in PSX with that thing wearing. I'm like, what's going on? Who am I? Who are you guys? What's happening?
That's Kojima.
And then I wake up from a fever dream, and I've really been like comatose for 4 years, and this is all make-believe.
There's a baby inside
but
of
that's
you.
what this is.
And then Kojima pops out of the closet, and he's like, Death Stranding.
Yeah,
It's like, what?
flashlights in my eyes, like, oh, what the fuck? And I go into a
And that's
stroke,
the game.
Got
and
a
then
little
coma
scorpion
again.
tail thing that's just attached to you now. And you're just like, what is happening?
Yeah, I know, but that's kind of how I felt after watching this trailer.
Yeah,
It was
that's accurate.
But I think the strongest thing about it is that we didn't see Mads Mikkelsen or Guillermo del Toro in this trailer. We just saw Norman Reedus and some other people.
Enormous Reedus.
And Baby Reeds, and we also saw the baby, which now it's an interesting shot of the camera going into the esophagus of Norman Reedus, and then he's just in there sucking his thumb and it goes thumbs up. And we're like, what the fuck is
It's gonna be a good game. Death Stranding.
Yeah,
Baby talks.
2019, possibly, maybe not.
That game's gonna be pretty interesting in like 8 years when it's done.
Yeah, really.
And 45 trailers
When
later.
the PS6 comes out, it'll be
pretty much.
good.
Yeah, if anything that this trailer did really well, it was A, make me want to play this game and can't wait for it, and B, made an antagonist look like a force to be reckoned with. Like, whatever the fucking main antagonist of that game is, it is terrifying.
Weird, shadowy.
You know what it reminded me
Tentacle
of?
monsters.
Which you're not going to think of this at all. It reminded me of the Kingdom Hearts
Heartless?
monster. Well, in the first, Mickey Mouse. In the first Kingdom Hearts game, there's this one Heartless that's really big, and it's got like these black tentacle thingies. And it looked just like that, except fully 3D rendered, much scarier.
Yes, I do know what you're talking about.
That big giant
I do know what
one.
you're talking about.
He's got the missing heart right in his chest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that guy.
I don't think they're the same.
No, it
but-
reminded me of that.
Well, he did say on the PSN or the PSX interview that he was heavily inspired by Kingdom Hearts for this game.
No, he wasn't.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah, get the fuck out of
But
here.
you were like, what if he was?
No, he wasn't.
Okay, yeah. I think everyone should watch that trailer just for the fact of enjoying
weird.
some 9 minutes of like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah.
The last thing that I want to kind of talk about that we really only have time for is Zelda Breath of the Wild. Fucking what was it? Champions Ballad, the DLC. They had a trailer
Battle
for
of
it. They
Champions.
announced it. It looks super dope. All of a sudden, you have the champions are back. There's going to be like some flashbacks going on, and then you see fucking Link on a motocross, like weird-
Motocross? He's on a motocross.
He's on a motorcycle, whatever. BMX bike that's like
Motocross?
Miyamoto coined
it
it.
is.
Fucking nice.
I like that.
And then at the very end of the trailer, it says release date now, tonight,
play it now.
motherfuckers. Like, pull out your Switches and start playing this, which I thought was
Yeah.
like the most baller move for Nintendo to do. To release a trailer and then say, go play this shit.
Yeah.
Go.
Pull out your Switches right now. I know you got them.
And everyone did.
Yeah.
And no one
No,
saw
you know what's
anything else
amazing
past
about
that.
this DLC? I've been playing it for the past 2 days, and this was me not playing Breath of the Wild in a few months.
Yeah, same.
Was that I picked up this DLC, started playing, have not played anything since. Because that game, there were parts where I wasn't even doing anything with the DLC. I was doing other quests, and I was just like, fuck, this game's so good. It just drags you in. Like, it's so
You've beaten
easy.
it, right?
Yeah, I beat it.
You got all the 4 divine. Well, you had to have, right? Yeah. So you and I, we both downloaded. I know that you're about to.
Yeah, I haven't done
played
it
it
yet.
yet.
I just, yeah.
Which is why we're going to save the review of that DLC for a bonus round, possibly. So
Sounds like a plan.
fucking play up, because I already beat that shit. And it's super dope. And I'll
It's
say
so
this.
it's so amazing.
Everything
Like
about's great.
that game, just like you start playing it and you don't want to stop.
Yeah,
Like you
don't.
really don't. And what's funny is I was playing it for a few hours like the other day before I went to work. I played it and I felt like I hadn't really done anything. Like it had been a few hours and I accomplished like one of the mini quests and one of the objectives in the quests you get for the DLC. And I was like, fuck. I was just like walking around this whole time, just running around this world fighting monsters and collecting shit.
It's
Like,
so
I didn't really
good.
do anything, but I felt
so
so
good.
satisfied.
Yeah.
That game's so good.
I can't wait to talk about it here on the
yeah.
show, because it's like there's definitely a lot to talk about, and the way that some
Yeah.
of the game design and elements that they introduced in this DLC were really, I thought really interesting and really awesome. But we'll talk about that another time because, guys, it is over. We are done. We have finished.
One more thing.
We didn't even talk about PSX.
We don't have time, man. PSX happened. It happened in Anaheim.
PSX confirmed.
It's PlayStation Experience. It is a conference for a bunch of developers to come in and talk about their upcoming games.
Bunch of nerds.
There was a lot of indie games that were announced, a lot of trailers there as well. The majority of their biggest news kind of came in the form of games that have already been announced already, but like they're like more like development diaries. Like I saw one for Spider-Man.
It's just a celebration of their year so far and looking ahead, and it was a good little show.
It was a good little show, kind of like our good little show.
Yeah.
Oscars is to, or the Game Awards is to Oscars as multiplayer is to PSX.
Is that so?
That's
I
accurate.
said it here first.
Yep.
Well, you heard it here.
So
I'd buy that.
Breaking
That's true.
news.
I'd buy that.
Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We always appreciate your patronage, especially our patrons. Whoa!
Woo.
Thank you guys so much for also donating. We love you guys, and if you can, please check out our Patreon page and see if we have convinced you enough to help donate, because we would love to help you guys, help us, help you, help us with video game news. And we want to give a special thank you to DJ CUTMAN for his amazing chiptune music that intros the show and also extros it. Outros. I know. I like extra. I want to make it a thing. It sounds like a planet on a distant realm of the edge of the universe. Anyway.
Sure,
okay.
Why not?
Extros. So thank you so much for that. If you can also follow all of the stuff that we've been talking about here on our Twitter and our Instagram pages at GoMultiplayer. You can also follow me on my personal Instagram page at Guillermo_Dorado and on my Twitter page, which is at Masdorado. Zach, where can they find you?
At ZachMatzGanis, ZACKMATZGANIS.
Boom. Javier Ortiz, where can they find you?
Twitter and Reddit, I am multiplayered Hav.
On Reddit too?
Yes.
Nice. You can follow Nathan Redfern. Yes, I got it right. I don't know why I get so proud of that. Just stop patting myself on the back. You can follow him on Instagram. On Twitter at MultiplayerNath, the best name that we have on this show. And you can follow our resident Xbox gamer, Mick. You actually met him a couple weeks ago. You can follow him on Instagram and on Twitter at MickToTheWood. Guys, thank you again so much. And remember, keep grinding, and we'll see you at the respawn.
Later.
We love you, and Urbosa is fine.
On behalf of Multiplayer, Mario would like to send a special thank you to Jaden Lawrence, Arturo Mendera, Mercedan Kroll Pitaru, and Mario Dorado. Thank you so much for watching.